Hello and welcome back to Queen's Wish 2. We are now in the Tower of the Erudico. And yeah, we will have to talk to a couple of people here. The Erudico. Then we had this guy over here in this room. Let's talk to Medit first. We are grateful. Okay. Medit smiles calmly at you. Though he's well armed, he's one of the few Rukai you have met up north who doesn't seem to crave a duel with you. He seems much more comfortable here in his office, out of the cold. What is this place? This is the Tower of the Erudico, the eternal home of the Eruds. They have our historians and our magicians. Their power and influence comes and goes, but this tower always remains. I'm not sure how much we already talked to him. Sort of blocking the road. Safe refuge for travelers, keeping them safe from the brigands and icy winds. Why would you want to avoid? Of course, we do charge a toll. Pretty sure we all had this already. How old is it? Tell me of the Erudico. May take some work to get them speak, though you might, yeah. Embarrassed. I haven't. Okay, another question. I repaired your gate, so I can see. We are so grateful we didn't doubt you, and we hope that you didn't run into anything too troublesome. Mixed monsters, illusionary horrors, a drake. So nothing troublesome at all. That is a relief. Such perils tend to appear when the Erudico are around. That is why I try to stay in my office, and I don't go poking my nose around. That's all for now, thanks. Okay. Let's talk to Zukra. The crafting hall of the tower is administered by this woman. She walks from station to station, making sure that nobody blows anything up. Her path tends to be very erratic. She often forgets what she is doing and changes direction unexpectedly. Then she sees you and her face lights up. Whatever fog she's in, your presence cuts through it instantly. She takes a sip from a flask at her belt. Then she runs towards you. I am Erudico. I run the crafting hall. I was told to help you. What are you drinking? She pats the flask. This is clearly brew. The Erudico make and drink it. It frees our thoughts and lets them fly to new unpredictable places. It aids in our research. What is in it? Some alcohol, some herbs, but the most important ingredient is quicksilver. Oh, the Ariel back on Sacramentum did this. Quicksilver does change our thoughts, but it also tends to lead to insanity. You should know that stuff will make you mad. Mad? That is the voice of jealousy, the voice of those who would keep us. What were we talking about? What do you do for the tower? I take care of the crafting hall. I keep order. I help advance our crafting arts. That is why I wanted to talk to you. The Erudico will prove ourselves. Where are you from? I came down from the High Letha. My people are great crafters, but they must be to stay alive. I had greater ambitions. The Rukai young who have ambition leave their clans to follow it. Most now live for haven. I came to the Erudico. How will you prove yourselves? We show that we still have value by letting you use our crafting pedestal. It is new magic. I helped to create it. It looks great. It took great effort and creativity. She sips from her flask. I have another question. Erudico stands at your side, though she is constantly watching the other experiments to make sure that nobody gets blown up. Every so often she takes a sip from her flask. What do you do for the tower? No, we had that. Okay, another question. I want to learn about your crafting arts. Yes, the crafting pedestal. She points at the pedestal in the magic circle in the middle of the hall. It is a new way of creating. It forges both items and knowledge. Sorry, what were we talking about? Crafting arts. Yes, of course. It uses not just mundane physical components, but will. We have only begun to explore all it can do for you. If you approach it with the power of proper preparation, you are crafting from will. Explain. When the materials to be crafted are assembled on the pedestal, then will what you want. The materials are then remade, maybe into objects, maybe into thoughts. It depends on what you need and what you have what you have the will to create. Preparation. You need to prepare to use the pedestal. It can change much, even the thoughts of those around. Sorry, what do we need to know about? Crafting arts. That is what I was talking about. About you, about how you need knowledge and dedication to direct the pedestal, the proper fine materials, and of course, money. I need knowledge and dedication. You can only make the pedestal remake that which you care about. As you build and dedicate your thoughts, the things that are important to you will affect the path the pedestal will take. I need money? Yes, to pay us for mundane materials and for just keeping this place running. This isn't free, she toasts you with her flask. I need supplies? The finest supplies, the knowledge of the row, ancient amber from the Kranas woods, deep material forged in the low darga, clarity brew from the Yalitha, focusing crystals from our mines. All those together can make... Sorry, what are you doing? Crafting arts. Right, yes, you need all the supplies. And where can I get them? They are what the Rokai produces. Some we keep here, others are sold to other vassals. You can find them about. They are rare and precious, but you are industrious. Erud also asked me to give you some as a token of our sincerity. I will accept your tributes. You are so gracious. She gives you a thin book and a ceramic jar. She is especially loath to part with the second one. Thank you for your help. Your journey is only beginning. Go to the pedestal, touch it, focus. So many paths will open to you. She leaves you to ponder, or she just wanders off. One of the two. You gain crafting resources, relevant lore +1, clarity brew +1. Okay. Hide in shadows. Grants new trainable ability. Enables you to evade the notice of enemies during battle. Ooh. Aid to infliction gives 2% bonus to all status effects caused by the character, positive and negative. You haven't dedicated enough of your thoughts to knowledge. Upgrade a thought to be able to dedicate it. Okay. Gives your characters 2% chance to evade attacks. Aid to peace. Reduces all theft resources. Okay, so I put all my stuff towards what was it? Reputation or something. Research the ability for your alchemist to create a power potion. This restores a decent amount of your energy while on a mission. Gives a bonus of 2 to all magical damage caused by your characters. A new trainable ability enables you to summon the brutes to fight by your side in battle. Grants a new trainable ability enables you to create a burning ball of fire that damages. Okay. Brute for healing and cure spells. Yeah, okay, but I have healing potions. I mean, this is probably more efficient, but it also doesn't look like these are really that great. No, character lasting shield fully absorbs some damage. I think the hide in the shadows, that can be really good. Trainable ability enables you to evade the notice of enemies during battle. Yeah, okay. And this will then... This is something here then, right? Ah, okay, no, it's not. Let's just test that then. Okay. I will learn this. Plum. And then... Yeah, okay. Causes nearby enemies to be less likely to be angry at or target you. So yeah, this is something I should definitely have and learn on my mages and whatnot, so that they are not focus fired by the by archers and so on. So that's definitely nice to have. I guess this is just the exit. Yeah. Rare spices. And what was the other stuff we could... we already have access to? 2% bonus to all status effects caused by the character. This is not a learnable ability. 8 to infliction, it's just a passive apparently. I mean, it's also not bad. Yeah, it's just a passive. So that would just be active, bonus for everyone. That's pretty good. I mean, pretty good for being a passive. And that you don't need to put any ability stuff in that. The tiny amount of valuable resources to the Rokai. This will improve the opinion of you a little bit. Huh. Okay. Charity for the role. I mean, this is also something we should do then. Gives a bonus 1 to your character's armor. We should probably just buy everything then, right? I mean, everything we have access to, because, I mean, this is giving us a bonus right away. 1 to your character's armor gives your characters a 2% chance of 2. That's actually a nice purchasing system, because gold usually is like the value is not that great, but this really makes sense to like to gather these resources and to buy that stuff. We need more. What do we need more of that? Ah, here, this thing. 8 armor. I mean, I can just buy one or both. Only one, because I only have one of these. Armor is great, so let's buy that. And yeah, we need to see if we will actually have access to more, but maybe not, because we'll keep putting that into reputation. Okay. Ah, yeah, okay. The Erudico dumped a bunch of books in this chest, forgetting them to rot. The library is probably full, so outdated or damaged books were just stowed away. It's standard procedure. The halls under your palace have countless tons of forgotten text. You dig around a little bit. After a bit of choking on mold and parchment dust, you find a book that is surprisingly intact and recent. It's called Erudico Earth Law. You keep it. You gain Erudico Earth Law. Okay. This book is full of Erudico research. A lot of it is natural philosophy. One long section involves alchemy and magic. It's pretty obscure stuff. Some Heavenite librarian might value it. I don't remember where I saw one. The Erudico also another blah blah blah. And there's nothing. And here, also nothing. Okay, but interesting. Maybe we had a quest already for bringing stuff to someone. I don't remember it though. Petition, petition, petition. It might be in our main fort. There was one like researcher guy. Maybe he's collecting that stuff. Maybe we can also talk to Erud again. Nope, we can't. Made it. Nope. Okay. We still have the quest The Harvester. So what's that quest about? There's a struggle going on in the Rokai. The secret of the powerful magic weapon has been discovered and multiple forces are competing to control it. This is exactly the sort of thing Haven needs to know about, especially in the time of rebellion. Erud Skiaris in Lascara set you on the path. He sent you to Erud Faalis, The Tower of the Erudico. The passphrase is to know one's enemies is to know oneself. To Erud Faalis. Okay, so Faalis maybe is some guy here which I haven't met yet. Sukra. No idea. Erud Faalis. Probably not like anyone is popping up here. Maybe if we leave and re-enter the zone. But so far I don't see anyone here. Maybe there was a dialogue option somewhere for these. Nope, that's the same stuff we had before. Researcher. Poisonous. There was nothing. No. Huh. The Harvester. Erud Sciaris sent you to the path. He sent you to Erud Faalis in the Tower of the Erudico. The passphrase is the Tower of the Erudico. But where I'm supposed to use the passphrase? Maybe what happens if we go there? Maybe this is like a second zone. No, it's not. Tower of the Erudico. No, it's okay. No. Yeah, where I'm supposed to use. I also don't see like. Ah, there is a stair up one. Okay, I didn't see that. All right. Hello, ghost. You can't get the shape to respond. Yeah, there he is. There's a shade in the middle of this cell. It looks like the ghost of a long-dead Rokai warrior. It stares straight ahead, not reacting to anything you do. An Erud is pacing around the spectre. Sometimes he says something to it, or whistles, or jams a scent through it provocatively. When he tires of the effort, he says, "I'm Erud Faalis. I'm studying this shade. Feel free to say hello to it." Hello, ghost. It doesn't respond. Erud Faalis says, "It won't talk. Tried everything. How did you get a ghost here?" "Magic. It doesn't seem to like me." "Who knows what it likes? It's pretty full of itself. At least I have better chance of success than Erud Gulzim and Rootling. We know the ghosts will talk sometimes, just not to me. I'd like to know more about the tower. Talk to Erud Alsov upstairs, or the librarian, or Medet. Anyone but me. I'm busy." Okay, so there's also a librarian. What are you doing to that ghost? "I am trying to make contact with the spirit of the dead. I want to be able to communicate with them myself. The usual way is too difficult. I've talked to ghosts a lot of times. Nobody likes a gloater anyway. That is because the ghosts choose to talk to you. You can't force them to speak. What is the usual way? Typically, we would call a mist talker down from the Hyletha. They have been difficult to get though, so we haven't. Why are mist talkers difficult? Sometimes they don't come at all. When they do come, it takes time. They also charge for their services. I would much rather talk to our dead without their help. Alas, they are the only ones who can force a response. Have you asked the mist talkers for advice? If they found out I was doing this research, they would send the Geldnas after me in a moment. I need to keep it a secret. Actually, I shouldn't talk to you. Please leave. Alice turns away to look at some books. Once he is looking the other way, the ghost winks at you. Okay. Like to know more about the tower. What are you doing? To know one's enemies is to know... Okay, let's try this one first. Like to know more about the tower. Okay. There's a long silence. At first, you aren't sure if the ear would hurt you. Then he speaks. He's intense, quiet, and terse. Help has come. The Eruds were creating a new weapon, the Harvester. The Geldnas, the assassins, are trying to take it from us. We have no defense against them. We need help. What help do you want from me? There are scrolls, designs for the Harvester, a mighty weapon, or so the papers told us. Never made, but now it is desired. The plans are not far from here, held safely. You need to find them before the Geldnas assassins steal them. Bring them to me. Why would I want to do this? Because you should not want them in the hands of the Geldnas. Such power will be turned against Haven, leading to war. I do not hate Haven. You have more knowledge than us, so you are worthy. If the Erudico has this knowledge, it will be controlled. Why wouldn't I keep the designs for myself? You could, but then the Geldnas will try to steal them. This is danger. War. You won't be able to use them either. We Erudico have our own codes and language. The papers will make no sense to you. Where can I find the designs? In a place where I can't go without being killed. They are in the Kordanor's woods, the south, I believe. They are held by Druid Atwil. Tell her that I sent you and she will give you the records. Who's Druid Atwil? She's one of those who keep the groves for the people of the Kordanor. However, she also works with Erudico. She protects the groves and she teaches us about them. She has much respect for the Erudico, that is why she risked all to hide the papers. Where's Druid Atwil? I don't know. She moves around a lot, both for her studies and to avoid the Geldnas. I know that she was trying to learn how to replant dead groves. If you find the remains of any dead sacred groves, that would be a place to search. Another question. What is the Harvester? I'm not sure. I haven't seen the plans. The plans were discovered. The originals were destroyed. A copy was made. While he speaks, the Erud doesn't look away from his shade. It is thought to be a mighty weapon. Nobody has made it. The Geldnas wants to own the secrets. They can't steal it. Who created the Harvester? I don't know. I don't know where the original plans were found, who made the copy, who destroyed them. I found out about the plans. I sent Skiaris to find help. You were found. I will take responsibility for action. Why was the Harvester created? The Erud have always made weapons for the Rukai. It is one of our great tasks. We are greatly respected for our ability to arm our people. Yet, the Harvester. The plans were made and lost. Where is the Harvester? It has never been made. Soon it will be. If the Geldnas have the plans. Made without controls, without being watched over by the Erudico, without approval of the Hylethans, without control. I am an Erud and I say this is not permitted. Why are you telling me any of this? It seems like a raw matter. The Erud made the Harvester. Therefore, on our commands we control what is done with it. Not the Geldnas. However, I can't leave this tower. If I do, the Geldnas will see me dead within days. So I will look for help until I find it. That's all for now. Thanks. Quest advanced. The Harvester. But I don't think we got any experience from that. Okay. Razas and Rokai rule. The Rokai is not ruled by one single leader. Such an organized system is too simple and predictable for such a wild and fractious land. Instead, each of the 4 provinces of the Rokai is ruled by a Raza. Razas are local kings. Their power over the province is absolute, though. A cruel or incompetent Raza will not survive for long. The Ro will not tolerate it. The provinces of the Rokai constantly raid and harass each other. When a dispute between 2 Razas becomes too violent and disruptive, it is settled by the Raza of the High Letha. The High Letha is a poor and hungry land, but it is also the repository of the old ways of the Ro. Raza is not a hereditary position. When a Raza dies of natural causes or the occasional assassination, there is a period of months where the local clans argue and negotiate. There is a lot of trading and violence in this unstable time. When viable candidates finally emerge, they ascend to the ancient stone circle of Prova Karuk and argue and fight until one of them wins the submission of the others. Okay. So they have to fight for it. Well, at least if there are multiple candidates. Knock knock. This back room is full of dust and cobwebs. None of the Eruds have been back here in some time. Seems like a waste of good storeroom. There's a closed gate to the north. Interestingly, there's a pedestal next to it. There are no levers, wheels, or other controls. There are, however, bowls of colored stones on the pedestal. Some stones have already been set into its surface. Okay. I think the previous game had something similar. I'm not sure. Do I just need to connect them? I mean, it's just trial and error, and as soon as I find... So sometimes if you click on something, so if I click here, for example, okay, it works. It works everywhere. I don't know if that's some kind of puzzle or whatever, but it seems like maybe this was just a training thing and this is the real puzzle. Okay. Yeah, alright. So I guess I need to connect everything. Okay, this is activating it, setting these. But I don't know what I need to connect, so... I mean, now these are connected. I'm not sure how these two, which aren't... Yeah, which don't have an opposing thing. I mean, we can of course connect these, but as soon as I connect this one, obviously I will not be able to connect this one anymore. So this is not doing anything. These are now 3. But I have no idea. I can put them everywhere once they're activated. Doesn't need to be next adjacent to it. But yeah, as soon as there's a connection between these two, it's like I can't click there for example. These two are not working. Everything else is fine. Yeah, but I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Like, obviously I cannot connect this one with the other ones. And these ones are just... well... yeah, I mean, how would I know how to connect these? I can just... and I probably need to set different ones as well. And not just one color for everything. I guess I need to connect them with the appropriate color. But yeah, I don't know. So... this is probably a puzzle I need to get back to later. Erudico Tower puzzle on first level. Upwards. Alright. Yeah, maybe I will encounter others of these puzzles and get a better idea about what I'm supposed to do. Or maybe the researcher is going to tell me. Or go. Nurbik. There is an Erud studying in this cubicle. He is sitting, she is sitting cross-legged on the floor and reading calmly. There's only one unusual thing about her. She's on fire. Tiny blazes constantly appear on her body. They burn for a bit, cough out some smoke, and go out. She turns the pages of a book with a stick so that she doesn't actually ignite it. She rises to greet you. I am Erud Nurbik. Please be careful, she smiles apologetically. I don't want to set you on fire. Hello. Hello. What are you studying? Just a work of history. I've been asked to read up on the ways clans of old settle disputes when selecting razas. There's a lot of interest on the topic lately. So, yes, a little flame erupts on the back of her right hand. This is a bit awkward. I understand completely. Feel free to ask. A fire on her left ankle burns itself out. Why are you on fire? Just an experiment gone wrong. I used to work in the workshop. I was mixing up a tricky brew. Some of it spilled on me. Since then, I have been constant blaze irritating sometimes. Isn't it painful? Not really. A bit ticklish in places. When is it irritating? When I want to enter the library, when I want to deal with other people, when I walk through forests in the peak of summer, I have to keep to myself much of the time. Any chance of putting yourself out? I think so. When I'm through with this research, I'll head down to the crafting hall and try a few things. I'm optimistic about finding a cure if I don't blow up the tower. The smoke in the room is starting to make you choke. You politely excuse yourself. Mind the flames. Yeah, okay, so there's nothing we can do there. Erud Gulsim. You meet one of the younger Erud, perhaps in her late 20s. She's in the cell with a rootling, one of those strange monstrosities that are appearing in the Kranos woods. The rootling is chained to a post and it sways gently from side to side. The woman concentrates on it. When you approach, she mutters, I am Erud Gulsim, don't disturb the creature. Watch her. She seems to be trying to communicate with the creature. She hums, she whispers, she focuses. Sometimes she taps her foot. None of it seems to be working. Watch the rootling. It sways gently from side to side, just waiting. These creatures are very patient. What are you doing? I'm trying to talk to the rootling. I want to know where it's from, why it was made, what it wants. She takes a flask from her hip and takes a sip from it. Does that flask help? When I sip Clarity Brew, for just a moment I feel at one with plants. I think it will help. How are you trying to communicate? Every way I can, non-vocal. We already tried all the vocalizations we could think of. Didn't work. So talking won't help. Plants are very poor conversationalists. I have moved on to non-vocal and sub-vocal efforts. I have tried everything I can think of 3 times. The thing just sways. Maybe it is impossible. I ask you to take that negative opinion elsewhere. I will talk to this plant. You leave her to her efforts. Oh, good luck. Maybe we can try. The rootling is chained safely to a post. It quietly sways from side to side. Okay, let's go 1 level up. Hello, Fauske. There's at least one man in the tower of the Erudico who isn't heavily armed or lost in abstract thought. He is a beefy middle-aged fellow in an apron dusted with flour. He looks sleepy and he has big bags under his eyes. He walks up to greet you. Welcome to the Tower, Haven. I am Fosk. The others can feed your mind, but I am the only one here who can feed your body if needed. What do you do here? I am the cook. The Eruds, they would let themselves die if they weren't reminded to eat. Too much Clarity Brew, I think. He shrugs. It's what brought me here. Feels like I have a real purpose. What are you from? Where are you from? The Gentle Coast. That's where I was brought up. Learned to cook. They have high standards down there, as I wager you saw. Why did you leave? The Gentle Coast has high standards, just maybe not in the right things. I have another question. Fosk self-consciously brushes the flour off his apron. Sorry, forget I'm talking to royalty. Need anything to eat? He stifles a yawn. You seem tired. I am tired. The Erudico keeps an unsteady schedule. I am woken up at all hours of the night. When they want to eat, they are loud about it. I don't like that part of it. Still an honor to be here. An honor? The Erudico are so important to the Rukai. They are not valued as much as they should be. They are old and neglected. I look after them. I have another question. I would like a meal. He serves you some bread and soup. It is the blandest food you have ever tasted. Fosk notes your reaction. Apologies, the Erudico are very picky. They tend to develop the dislike for flavor. Okay. I would like a drink. You get a mug of the traditional drink of the Rukai, fermented whatever. It has been watered down so much that you can barely sense the drink. Fosk smiles. We learned centuries ago. Don't let an Erud get drunk. Very dangerous. That is all. It was an honor to serve. For once, this role seems like he actually means it. A researcher. Amethyst Orb. Absorbs 50% up to... Okay, but this is an offhand item. So it's... No. Mainment. Ah! I'm blind. Okay, this is already equipped. Okay. 50% damage up to 3 physical, 1, okay. Resist. Yeah, I mean, it can be switched there. It's probably better to have that. And this is a two-handed weapon, so there can't be any shield. Okay. Erud Alzov. You meet an old, withered man. His desk is worn and pitted with tiny holes. The rug is threadbare, worn by the tracks of the countless students and masters that have passed through here. He motions for you to sit in the chairs in front of his desk, as if you were just a more wayward student. He is polite enough to pour you some tea. Then he looks up at you with cloudy and distant eyes. I am Erud Alzov. I am the master of the tower. Now that Haven has remembered that the Rukai exist, I am glad you found a moment to speak with me. What are your vassal and we are your vassal and we owe you. I like to learn about Erudico. I am honored. We are the thinkers and researchers of the Rokai. We keep histories, we make magic, we collect books of all sorts. Sometimes we are strong, sometimes weak. Now we are in decline, few students come. I don't really think of the Rokai as scholars. Do you study the arts of war? Of course, the Rokai are always surrounded by war. We practice on each other and then outsiders bring it to us. We must study war. I don't really think of the Rokai as scholars. Outsiders see my people as mindless barbarians. This is wrong. Barbarians? Perhaps. Mindless? No. We honor our history and we value power. The Erudico keep both. Students don't come to you? 1 second. The Rokai is a backwater and Haven is huge. The brightest among us tend to leave now to study in the finest colleges of the most peaceful lands. They leave and we almost never see them again. They were tempted away, like your father. Why have you declined? Because when we are a vassal of Haven, we can't compete. What do you mean? Haven has so many vassals. Many of those vassals are larger and wealthier than we are. They have more towers, more mages, more researchers. They are simply faster than us. But the wheel turns. The wheel turns? When the Rokai stands alone, that is when the Erudico are the most influential. One day Haven will be gone. Our conquerors always leave eventually. It may be centuries from now, but it will happen. I have another question. Erud also speaks quietly with you. When the level of your tea dips, even a tiny bit, he pours more for you. Sometimes he nods off for a few moments. What do you owe us? What resources can you provide? The Erudico are withered. Most of our towers are abandoned. We discover a few things now. What knowledge we have, what advances we made in crafting, these are at your disposal. That is what our treaty of vassalage with you requires, of course. I could use more knowledge. Then you should consult our library and speak with our librarian. Haven has not sent us many books, so we have little that would interest you, but help yourself to what you find. I think some of our older books are being stored in the low chambers as well. I'm interested in crafts. Then that is one area where we might actually offer you something new. Talk to Erud Zukra in the main crafting hall. I have another question. I am on a diplomatic mission here, and you are dealing with your governors and your razas and our razas. I understand that. The Erudico tend to be off to the side when such great matters of state are discussed. So it is not my place to mention that Haven stopped sending us books. When did we stop sending books? I don't know. Haven stopped noticing us not long after your father, consort Darmal, died. Before, Haven always sent us the most recent scrolls. Now we are forgotten, a backwater of the mind. What sort of books do you want? We need to learn the new techniques for crafting and magery. If we don't have them, we can never be a full vassal of equal import and value to the other vassals. I don't know who decided to neglect us or why. But this could change. If I had a permission to request these works in your name, of course, we could compensate you for your aid. He looks at you expectantly, hoping for your aid. It is tempting to buy their favor, but your mother is very careful to not enable vassals to get too much unsupervised power. Send a message to Haven telling them I granted your request. If this decision was made, I will not change it. No, let's do that. Yeah. I will do this. I thank you for your kindness. I will make sure the Rokai knows of your generosity. Even though it would be your right to go back on your words, I hope you do not. He stands and locks the door to the south. In return, I will give you access to my chambers. The papers and equipment within are yours to take. This is only a start, of course. There's other knowledge we seek. I'd like to learn more. What do you owe us? What other knowledge did you want? Ah, well, I know you are traveling our land. I don't know how far you are going. You do have a reputation as a wanderer. In the last 2 centuries, Erudico have abandoned many of our towers. The greatest lost was the deep towers. The deep towers? There are many enormous cave systems under the Rokai. We built a tower in one of them, close to the center of the world. There are powers that can be trapped into down there, but the tower was lost. None of us have been there in over a century. We want to rediscover it. There's something we need to know. How can I reach the underworld? Shamefully, I do not know. There are tunnels into the underworld, but they seem to shift about. Earthquakes close some, open others. Of course, you have no real reason to enter the underworld, but if you did, the deep towers might be in your path. His wrinkled face is calm, almost detached. He isn't telling you something, but you have no idea what. What do you want to know exactly? We have a tendency to improperly clean our towers when we leave. Strange magic can take a root while we are gone. We want to know if the deep towers are still abandoned, and if not, what resides there. Why was the tower abandoned? Erud also shrugs. Lack of stuff. It takes a strong spirit to live in the underworld for long. In the darkness and surrounded by dark powers, we just didn't have enough people to keep the place. If come across the deep towers, I will explore them maybe. I'm sure it is unlikely, of course. All I want to know is what powers reside there, if any. If you find any interesting old books or trinkets, please keep them if you think they would be useful. I have another question. Okay, that's it. Quest advance, aiding the Erudico. Alright, there's a book. There's an old thick tome bound in leather. You flip through it. It is a record of magical and war research in the Rokai collected by the Erudico. Much of it is incomprehensible. A lot of it you already know. A bookmark indicates one battle technique that is very interesting. You take some time to study it. You can now train the ability Disruption. Oh, emeralds. Rare dice. Okay, this is all crap, but here, relevant lore. Fine Erudico coal. Arcane gear. This has a value of 5. Okay, this is a higher level one. Nice. Alright, cool. So we have learned Disruption. Disruption. Removes 6 turns of blessings. Haste, bless, special from the enemy target. Okay. I would rather kill them, but maybe useful for some boss battles or something. Erudico. You meet the aging librarian of the Erudico's tower. It's easy to identify her. Librarians the world over tend to have a certain look, even though this one is unusual. She has a suit of armor and a broadsword at her side. Once she verifies that you bear neither open flame nor dirty hands, she says, "Welcome, Prince of Haven. I am Erudico, the librarian of the tower. Please don't damage anything." She looks around and then takes a deep breath. "I know I must seem very small to you, but it was important to me that you come. Tell me about your library." This tower has been here since before recorded time. Since it was built, the most recent and useful works of writing have been kept here. The knowledge of the road, it is here. We are greatly respected, and we live our lives earning that respect. Why do the Rokai have such respect for you? You must have a low opinion of us indeed to ask such a question. The Rokai values our history, our law, and our power. Librarians guard all three. So we are greatly honored, though perhaps many prefer to honor us from a distance. What sort of books do you collect? Works that would help us remember our past, remember our deep truths, and perfect our magic and our crafts. Alas, our works are humbler and less up-to-date than you are used to. Haven has, well, you should talk to Erud also about that. Do you have any works I'd be interested in? Probably not. As I said, this library is humble. Still, we have books scattered all over the tower. If you find something you like, she gags on the words. I'm under orders to let you have them. I have another question. You meet the aging librarian of the Erudico's tower. It's easy to identify, blah blah blah. Once she shares, blah blah blah. She looks around, tells you a deep breath. I will know, I must seem very blah blah blah. Okay. You're well armed for a librarian. Of course, this is the Rokai. I was born here, it is my blood. And yes, blood sometimes must be shed on these nice stone floors. Where are you from? I am from the Low Daga. When women of my province have talent and ambition, they must leave in order to use them. When you move to ask her why that is, the expression on her face says that she has no desire to discuss it. Why would you need to fight? Seekers of knowledge come to our tower from all over. Some of them don't follow rules, some of them want to steal works, to keep their rivals from having them. Neither can be allowed if the library is to survive. Sometimes this means battle. I have another question. Why was it so important to you that I come? Because we see many things from our tower. We see that hard times are coming to this land. Hard times ahead. The raids, the assassination attempted and successful. The decay, war is coming. None of us want to say it, but I am sworn to the truth above all things. War is bad for the Erudico. That is why I want to ask you for something. What do you want from Haven? Now that the raids have started, it is harder to get to the materials we need. You can move freely and you go to dangerous places. You can get something for me and I can do something for you. What can you do for me? I have valuable works. You would find it useful to own them. I don't want to give them up, but sometimes it is necessary. Okay, what can I do for you? I have lost the ability to get certain materials, substances I need to perform my duties. I think that you can get them for me. I need a special sort of sap, and I need some pure ground ochre. What sort of sap do you need? Sap from the sacred groves of the Kordanor's woods. I need sap from one of the stumps of their sacred trees. Sometimes the ancient living trees die. When they do, their remnants give their sap to us. We protect and feed them. They sustain us. You are wise enough not to mention that cutting down the trees would also give access to their sap. What about the ochre? That powder is rare in the Rokai, but sometimes the quarries of the Low Daga are able to locate it for us. What will you use these things for? She frowns. We use it for ink. A sort of ceremonial ink. Ink for what? The private business of the Rokai. I'm sure of no relevance to Haven. I will be the judge of that. What is the ink for? Get me the ink ingredient or not. I have said everything I intend to say. Okay. Alright. New quests. Paper. We are not allowed to take it. The Erudico. The Erudico are the highest defenders of the row principle of knowing if every row's mind is a mountain. The Erudico live at its base and never depart. They seek only to improve the science and knowledge of the Rokai. The row have a long history of study and scientific advancement. The intensity of their learning ebbs and flows. When the Rokai is occupied by a foreign land, there is less learning. When they are free, study and research begins anew. After 2 centuries of being a vassal state of Haven, the Erudico are but a faded sect. Most of the new knowledge of the row enters through the ports of the gentle coast. Most of them are holed up in the tower of the Erudico in the heart of the Rokai, where they tinker and dream of past glories. The Erudico free themselves as much as possible from the burdens of life and belief. They create and invent. Then they leave it to the other row to adapt their creations to the world and the row beliefs. The mental and emotional detachment of the Erudico can seem very strange. Alright. So what do we have here? Gentle knowing. The Rokai is a violent, remote mountainous land. Thus, outsiders often make the mistake of thinking the row are ignorant and have no interest in science or learning. This is completely wrong. If a row's mind is a mountain, knowing is the gentle slopes at its base. Many row mentally dwell here, taking part in study and research. When the row is held by hostile power, study dwindles, but the Erudico always survive, ready to revive it again when the invaders are gone. However, in the minds of the Rokai, a distance is always kept between the realms of knowing and those of working and deep truth. The Ro eagerly gather knowledge, but they are very slow to incorporate it into their work, and it can take centuries for them to change their deep beliefs. The distance between what the Ro know and what they do can be very confusing to outsiders. You can teach the Ro much, and they will be very grateful. However, many years may pass before what they learn influences what they do. Okay. And there's one more room. Okay, I think that's it then. I'm also a bit surprised that we can't hand in the thing, the scroll or whatever we had to this person here. Yeah, okay. Or to this one. No. Nope. Okay. I guess that's it then. So we finally finished this tower. Besides of this one puzzle thing, we need to get back to that later. And we can't buy anything else over here. Alright. So yes, I guess so with this episode was a lot of talking again. I mean, next time we will do some exploration, but I think it will be for the next 2 or 3 hours even. We will have to do tons of additional talking again in this tower and then in the city. So yeah, sorry if that's a bit boring, but we need to get through that. So first we will get this tower, and with that we will also get plenty of new resources, I guess, which we can then reinvest into the tower, into new buildings, which make us stronger, and of course then we can continue getting additional claims and whatnot. There's still plenty of experience which we need for any level up, and I don't know what level we need to get these zones. This one should probably be the first one to get, but maybe not. In any case, so next time we will get the fort and go to Jaja Gym. So if you don't want to miss that, then feel free to subscribe to this channel, and new episodes every couple of days. And with that, I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.